Season 7 of the eRacing GP coming to you live on Facebook, wherever you are. Hope you're enjoying it. If you're competing, let's get some good circuits around the Hungaroring, which is where Alex Young has decided this week's round 2 is going to be at. Alex, the Hungaroring, it's proven to be an awkward track to overtake on the 2 races that we've seen so far.
Yeah, awkward is the right way. Clumsy even. If you want to overtake here, you got to get your elbows out and kind of force your way through because we don't have long straights to get the slipstream to overtake on. And let's have a quick look at the track.
Yeah, the circuit itself, it's got those straight. It looks like there's a lot of straights there, but they're very short straights, aren't they? Which means you don't really have the momentum and the slipstream opportunities.
That's right. 4.381 kilometers. Looks like a trophy, really. And if you look at the very bottom, that's where the start-finish line is. Runs in a clockwise direction with 14 corners. And you really can only overtake into turn 1, turn 2, and also the last couple corners are also places you can kind of send it down the inside.
Okay, our focus now is on the silver edition. We've got 4 categories that we have here. We have copper and bronze, which we have those races. We've got gold coming up, but the silver edition. And so far, the championship is very much a Filipino affair. Axel Mariano Nocom and Voltaire Seiko up at the top of the overall championship standings.
Yeah, there they are right now. You can see Nocom there. Seiko. Mitchell Chia was in P3. I don't think he's taking part today. He's the WTCR driver, famous real-world driver. Gonzalez in 4th. Alan Drake Cruz in 5th. Felix Young in 6th. Edward Wong in 7th. We'll see him today. Brandon Paul 8th. Nazir Asman 9th. And Villanueva there in 10th.
Yeah, Villanueva just won in the previous category. Philippines, 100 points for Sim Racing Filipinas in the Team Cup standings. These are accumulated points over the 4 categories. 7-Star Garage, another Filipino team. So they are seriously taking this very, very seriously, as proven by the country standings, in which Philippines are leading the way. 170 points accumulated in round 1, ahead of Malaysia, 165. Singapore, 98. Italy, and we'll see more of Italy in the gold class, have accumulated 57 points.
That is very true. I mean, they only had one Italian in the gold class, but he had a very good rate round 1. We won both the races, and he'll be out to do that later. But you have to wait for the gold class for that. We are dealing with silver right now. Still got a few drivers and cars spawning onto the server. We're following Alan Drake Cruz. Another one of these promising young Filipinos are coming up. Good friends with Axel Nocom. I know they do a lot of practice together. And, you know, Drake Cruz came with Sim Racing a little bit later than Axel, but he's improved really, really quickly. And he's quickest right now with 7-Star Garage.
Yeah, very popular on the Facebook community as well. There's an awful lot of fans, groupies already. Alan Drake Cruz and Axel Mariano will be able to get many, many Filipino fans. And it's great to get that activity for us on Facebook. So please keep your comments coming. We do monitor them. Keep them clean. Keep them nice.
Yes, we got underage watching this as well, so let's not forget about that. As a community, I think when we go racing, because we have all these different classes from copper, who are beginners, all the way up to gold, who are the pros. But, you know, I do love the fact that we have people as young as 8 competing, and people as old as 65 competing, you know, because it's no discrimination. Doesn't matter what size you are, what sex you are. We welcome all, and we have some really good characters in eRacing GP.
We've also got some new people this season as well. Sean O'Carroll, he's not been anywhere near the top of any races, but he's trying, he's learning, a privateer, driving the Audi. We've seen him in all 3 editions so far, all 3 class of races so far. It's great to welcome this wider community, and as we go into gold, you're spreading further afield as well, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, gold class, we open worldwide, so we get a lot of Europeans coming into race. But because we're based in Asia Pacific, for the junior categories, copper, bronze, and silver, it's only eligible to drivers based in Asia Pacific. We do obviously have to worry about ping and latency and stuff. So that's also another reason why we try not to open up too much. But for the gold class, we spend the money on the server. You know, we've got the best server we could possibly buy, and that's why we can afford to have some Europeans in gold class.
I'm always very happy to see more Indonesians, and from the Batam Digital Motorsport team, in the Honda, you've got Kurniawan Chen. I'm assuming based out of Batam, but it really is good to see Indonesians coming in. We'd love to get more. They don't particularly seem to particularly buy into race room, but we'd like to see more on ERGP because they add such colour and such talent to the championship.
Yeah, they do. See how he does. He had a difficult weekend in round 1, but let's see how he does in round 2 as he comes down the start finish straight into turn 1. Let's see how much, a couple more minutes, a minute and a half to go before qualifying starts. Just to remind you guys, qualifying is only 6 minutes. So these guys will get time for 2 laps at the most. And then we go into the 2 races. Race 1 is normal, race 2, a reverse grid.
And only 3 rounds, so there's no dropped rounds this time. If you have a bad round, that is your big problem, and it will cost you. We're making sure that we're getting as many rounds in, so we've got 7 complete seasons, so that the more championships that we have, the better. It just gives us a better overall feel on how drivers are developing.
Yeah.
Talking about how drivers are developing, the kids, the Alan Drake Cruisers and the Axel Mariano. Is Axel out there, actually? Yeah, he is there, isn't he? He's in the pits just at the moment. But this young kid has been sensational.
Yeah. He was a Copper champion. Oh, no, he didn't actually win Copper. I think
he was runner-up.
Finished runner-up in Copper. Then he won bronze in Global Edition 6. So we had to promote him. And it's kind of funny watching Knock-On because he has to drive with the assist. He doesn't know how to use a manual gearbox. But when you run with assist, you have to carry extra weight. And he still won bronze with that extra weight. Now, however, in silver, it's get real settings in race room. So you can't have any assist. You have to use the manual gearbox. So Axel has had to adjust to that. And he did pretty well, didn't he? He won a race in round 1. And he looks comfortable enough to sit in the pits for now.
Certainly does. Okay. Also going to introduce a new voice for you for this commentary. Amo Hazik, who is obviously, if you follow ERGP, is a familiar voice for you. Amo will be talking you through both qualification and the 2 races. Amo, welcome on board for this week's competition.
Yeah, cheers, Des. Thanks for the introduction, and can't wait to get this one going because WTCR cars, or in this case, touring cars, are absolutely fun to watch.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just adjusting the sound. And we're going to go for qualifying right now. Amma, we're going to put you off straight off the back. Shall we follow Axel Knock-On perhaps? And maybe you can talk us around the lap.
Okay, certainly. So this for a change, I'm doing the hot lap around. So coming around turn 14, this is the most crucial corner to get the power onto the start-finish straight, to get that launch and get a good drive to actually start lap on a good foot. So about roughly 200 kilometers per hour on the straight here before they had to put on the anchors. And surprisingly, we can see the red, green, and orange markers on the side there. So that's where you told to brake. He braked around 100 meters, which is the orange markers. That was about second gear. Now coming up to turn 2. One there was we see the site of many overtaking maneuvers. Turn 2 here. Famously, we saw Fernando Alonso go off in 2006 after a wheel nut failure. So maybe some of the other guys may not have to go through the same fate, but regardless, it's a corner for plenty of overtakes. Coming out to turn 3, and now 4. Ralph Furman had a big crash here back in 2003, and luckily no comp here. Guides through safely. Fastest in the first sector overall so far because he's the first driver to break the timing beam. Coming to 5 and 6, I've seen a few overtakes here for the Copper class. That can be done. I'm not sure about touring cars if they can run side by side here because normally they have to get the power on quickly so that they could prevent the understeer. Through 6, 7, chicane again, another site to overtake, but really difficult. You're gonna have to go run along somebody or onto the inside just to get move done. Then up to 8 and 9, this is coming out to the final sector now. We're waiting to see where Axel lies here. Oh, that's a 113 in the second sector, so fastest so far. Coming out to 10, 11, and 11 here. This is crucial because if you can get the corner mid-entry speed just about right, you can actually launch yourself out of there into turn 12 quite nicely into the final sector. Now that through that final sector, turn 12, a bit of a point scored corner. You can run along the curves of it in the touring car, but not too much as to might cause a bit of a moment where the cars can go onto 2 wheels. Wow. Final sector, turn 13, 14, and looks as though this is actually quite a good time. This may be in the 52s even because he was actually quite close to Alan Drake Cruz as we see times come tumbling now, Alex.
Wow, look at that. Seiko's quickest at the moment, but Axel goes across the line and he's only P2. So Volta Seiko off cam has done a great lap to go quickest in the Alpha, and Francis Gonzalez also in there in P2. But Seiko, let's see where he is right now. There he is in the Alpha. You know, the 2 youngsters, Alan Drake Cruz and Axel Knock-On, they like the Megane, the black Megane. It's got no ballast in it, but the Alpha's pretty good as well. Alpha only has 3 kilos of ballast in it, and Seiko there, he's P1 at the moment. And Ammo, do you think he can hold on?
I think he might just hold on because that 0.5 of a second gap. That's a good banker lap to start with, but he's on the second lap right now, Alex, and it looks as though he might be able to actually just improve this time if he could get all 3 sectors correctly, Alex.
Absolutely. We'll come back to him in a sec. I just want to see what championship leader Axel Nocom is doing. He's got one more lap to do. So there he is. He's started a lap. Francis Angelo Gonzalez is also just starting a lap. Let's see where Alan Drake Cruz, he's a bit further down. He's just gone through Sector 1 in green, only 1/10 off Seiko. So he's on a good lap right now. He's got to find something special though, because Seiko was a little bit special right just now. And if I go back to Seiko, he's had to restart his lap. So he's obviously made a mistake in that first sector. So he's got one more chance. Has he got enough time? Yes, he has just enough time to start that lap. But in the meantime, let's go back to Drake Cruz and see if he can find a bit more time.
Oh, never mind. He bailed out of it, and luckily for him, he bailed out just in time to actually start yet another lap. And out of our sight as well, 3rd place, Nazir Aslan. Yeah, don't be mistaken. That's not Nakib or Nabil. That is actually the 3rd brother of the 3. Nazmi or Nazir, because it's Nazmi Aslan. So
wow.
That's quite amazing, isn't it? Amazing, isn't it, that all 3 members of the Aslan family know how to drive well?
Well, all 4 drivers, actually. They got an elder brother as well, who's pretty handy as well. But yes, Nazma Aslan, welcome. He's actually done an ERGP race before. I have seen him out there before. But he looks very focused. Oh, he's on his elder brother's rigs. He's stolen Nakib's rig as well. So this rig has won a lot of races in the region. We'll come back to him, shall we? Because he's just starting his lap. I just want to go back to Drake Cruz and see how he's finishing his lap. No, he didn't go quicker. So Drake Cruz has had to restart his lap. Let's see. Seiko's still going through his lap. Look at that. Darren Two-Wheel Ivan. Darren Ivan has gone quickest, second quickest at the moment. But Axel Nocom, as he usually does, goes P2 at the moment.
Only a 10th off, and unfortunately that will be the end of his qualifying because he can't set a faster time than that. But that's a good effort from him again, which normally is good on the straights, but somehow on the Hungaroring without any ballast, he's actually doing quite well. And 3rd place, Darren Ivan, and yes, I think he changed that name out of the fact that he actually heard our commentary last week, going 2 wheels at Aragon. He has actually gone for Darren Two-Wheel Ivan, so right now at least, looking good here for, did he run wide? Did he cancel that time? He might have actually.
But it's slow. Sector 1 and Sector 2 are slow. So let's go back to Seiko, and Seiko's on a purple Sector 2. This looks like it's going to go even quicker, Ammo.
Indeed, and looks as though we didn't even get a Sector 1 time, but Sector 2 is about 700s faster. Coming through now out of turn number 14 onto the start-finish line. Is it going to be an improvement? It looks close here. And it does by just 5,000ths of a second. He improves his lap time and still stays ahead of Axel Nocom. And in fact, no, he didn't improve, but he did get a faster final sector.
Wow, okay, there's some other movers there. So Seiko at the top, Axel Nocom in second. Alan Drake Cruz goes to the front. Drake Cruz out of nowhere with just 6 seconds remaining in qualifying. Out of nowhere goes quickest. Seiko second, Axel Nocom third, Mark Elman then fourth. So Filipino 1, 2, 3, 4. Nazmir Aslan, the younger brother of the 2 Aslan brothers, in 5th position. Darren Two-Wheel Ivan in 6th. Gonzalez 7th. Christian Duque in 8th. Villanueva in 9th. And Nazir Asman from the bronze class rounds out the top 10.
And indeed, what an interesting end to the qualifying session there. Just right at the death, Alan Drake Cruz just claims it. Alex, it looks as though it's going to be a great race here between Alpha and Renault.
Yeah, I can't call it at the moment. You've got the 2 young chargers, Alan Drake Cruz and Axel Nocom up there in the top 4. The more cagey drivers, I guess, are out there as well. The slightly older ones, Volta Seiko, Gonzalez is there. Mark Elman, great to see Mark Elman getting into the top 4 as well. So that'll be interesting Philippines battle to watch.
Indeed, and we got about 20 seconds left to go here before we start the first race of 2 for the silver class, round 2 of the championship, out of the 3 that we have for this very short season, but it's been an enthralling one regardless. So 10 seconds to go then. We're waiting for the gantry lights to come on either the left-hand side of the screen or wherever the gantries are. Waiting. You can probably hear faint revs going on right now. And we are underway here at the Hungaroring, and looks as though it's a good start for Alan Drake Cruz. He cuts across his fellow countryman Seiko, and looks as though Nocom will try to tuck into that slipstream as well. All 16, in fact 17 cars have gotten off the grid nicely, so no one has stalled it. Up to turn 1 now. Who's going to get the whole shot? It is Drake Cruz who holds off from Seiko slightly, but Seiko cuts across, and they're going side by side coming up to turn 2 here. It looks like Seiko has done it. Seiko has taken first away from Drake Cruz, while Nocom here also has dropped behind to Elman. So the Alphas, despite getting a bit of a slower start compared to the McGanns, are good coming through the corners and under the brakes, Alex.
Wow, yes, side by side there. The Alphas and the McGanns, like you said, in 5th position. You got Gonzalez in the blue Cian. So the Kian there is okay, is up there in 5th position. But at the front, though, is a McGann sandwich, or shall I say an Alpha sandwich, with 2 McGanns in the meat.
Yep, so there's a double stack sandwich, or you're gonna double down on your intake of Renaults. But so far, at least, that's the start that Volte Seiko wanted, despite being snatched away from pole at the very end from Drake Cruz. So Drake Cruz then has to work on the back of the Alpha, and now coming through the section where we can presumably say the Alphas are way better than the McGanns, and it looks as though this is proven true for so far, at least, as Drake Cruz then cannot seem to actually latch onto the back of Seiko for now.
Yeah, I think that Drake Cruz just following the leader there. He's lost his pole position, he's lost the lead, but there's still plenty of time, 13.5 minutes to go. Have to watch out for tyre wear. It's not too bad, times 2 tyre wear, so it depends what tyres they're all using. But yeah, there's still a long way to go, isn't there, Emma?
Yes, indeed, Alex. And the fact that they only have a choice of hard tires, I think, because, well, actually they have a choice of tires that they can go with. But for this one, they can only go for the hards because the hards are the only tires that can last through this distance right now. Coming through the final corner, then turn 14. Drake Cruz has actually lost it right now for about a second at the opening lap of this race. And Seiko is scampering away here. Drake Cruz second, Axel Ocon third, and Vote Elman fourth. So with Gonzalez and the Lincoln Co in fifth, it's a Filipino 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As they come to turn 1 now, hopefully we can see what's going to happen between Drake Cruz and Nocom. Is Nocom going to send one on the inside of his teammate? Nope, he doesn't. So Nocom then holds on to third place ahead of Vote Elman, and Elman will be a little bit frustrated right now that the McGanns are just that fast on the front straight. But through the second and third sectors, he might have every opportunity to actually sneak by here. As look at that, he's trying to look through onto the inside, coming out of turn 2. No way through just about yet. Nocom holds on to third place.
Nicely done there, but look at that Elman there, he's looking really close. And he's got to be careful because he's got Gonzalez right behind him as well. Gonzalez he's a very opportunistic racer, and as I say that, he dives down the inside. Nice move by the Filipino.
Called it nicely, and now top 4 are with 4 different manufacturers. Alpha leading away, actually. Well, we can look at it. Top 5 has different manufacturers, 4 different manufacturers. As Gonzalez, Nocom sends one to the inside. Gonzalez, he repays the favor and takes away the position, and Gonzalez has to back off here. Otherwise, he'll be into the clutches of Darren Ivan Rajan. And for now, at least, the 6 of them have broken away from Ashari, who's in 7th with the Honda. So Honda is apparently not the car to go here, but people still want to drive it either way.
Yeah, so you see it in gold though. A few people are using gold. I'm surprised no one's using the Cupra here in silver, because Cupra seem to be very quick. The other ones a bit further back there. Look at that bit of a battle there between Ashari there and Aslan. This is a battle for 7th position.
Yeah, Nazmir Aslan, gosh, we had to actually get all 4 brothers' names in an order so that we can get through. Yes, when I say 4, because they have another brother named Nazri Aslan, so that's 4 of them who know how to race well. Anyway, we go further behind. Yep. Christian Duque in 9th. We had a few corner cutting warnings before. He's also running in the McGann. Calvin Powell, who's actually racing at the Axel Academy Studios, he's running 10th in front of Nazir Asman. That's no relation to the Aslan brothers.
Yeah, and well, so what was I going to say? It's quite interesting that it's coming close. Oh, Nazir Asman down the inside nicely and takes the position.
And he's still going side by side there with Calvin Powell. So Calvin Powell, the former champion for copper and bronze, seems to be a bit having a baptism of fire here in the TCR cars in silver as he goes onto the inside coming through turn 2. And Nazir then blocks the line there. That's actually pretty much a standard touring car move. They might get a few collision warnings for that one with the penalty points, but looks as though they managed to get away with that one with not much problems.
Yeah, that's right. Back at the front, so Seiko looking like he's got a nice handy lead. We're watching Alan Drake Cruz try and hunt him down in 2nd position. In 3rd, you got Elman there, and Axel Nocom in 4th, the championship leader in 4th position. Still anything to play for with 10 minutes to go.
But it's crucial though, Alex, you point out that the start just now, Cruz just got a good getaway, but coming out to turn 1 under the brakes, the Alpha just managed to nick him for first position, and that's how the story has played out so far. The Alphas just seem to know how to pull away, and the McGanns just have no answer through the corners here at the moment.
Yeah, that is true at the moment, at least. See what the tire wear. Tire wear should be pretty good with the McGowns as well. But Alpha also has very good tire wear. Well, I've been told. I've never driven them yet.
Yeah, actually, the Alphas are pretty good with tire wear, and if you know how to drive it properly through the corners, fuel is not much of an issue either. It's just a matter of trying to maximize what the Alphas can show in order to get the most advantage out of them. As we look here, another Alpha going into the wars with a Lincoln Code. In this case, it's Francis Angel Gonzalez and Francis, both a bit of a tough block there on Darren Iverajan, and I think Darren might just be going on about that particular block for a few minutes to come. Right now, at least he's in the battle here, locked in the battle for the cusp of the top 5 with the Lincoln Code. The Lincoln Code quite good on the straights, but under the brakes, can Darren actually get good at drive out of there to actually overtake the Lincoln Code? Not about just yet.
Yeah, this is carrying on there. I don't know where Darren's driving from, but I've never seen that rig before, him use that rig before. As he goes around the outside of Gonzalez, but Gonzalez just floors it and then runs wide trying to defend that position, makes a mistake, and Darren Ivan is nicely through.
Yep, he hung him up to dry right there, and for good measure, to compound his misery, he's gotten a slowdown penalty. So I think that's pretty much him giving up the ghost here. He's going to have to settle for 6th place to fend off from another fast Aslan in 7th here, although he's about a few seconds behind anyway, so he's going to have to watch those tires towards the end.
I'm going to call him number 4. Brother number 4, because I don't have to give him numbers. All the names are too similar. But oh, look, he's smiling as well, so he's having a great time there in P7. Doing a good job there. Nicely made the move on Ashari. Let's see if he can pull away from that gap and maybe close down the gap to Gonzalez, who's just up the road from him.
Yep, about 2.5 seconds away, and he might have increased the gap slightly through this part of the course where, normally the Alphas can actually catch up, but the Lincoln Code is no slouch through the corners either. It's just that it's slightly faster on the straight compared to the Alpha. If we're looking further behind, yeah, another fast Filipino.
Yeah, Villanueva having a great battle there with Kelvin Powell. These are the guys from bronze earlier on. They come and do silver as well. It's good experience for them to come and do that higher class, see the higher level of racing, because they know where to go. But this battle's been going on all race so far, and I've got a feeling it's going to go all the way. However, back at the front, Volta Seiko looking good there in P2, but he's just leading from Drake Cruz nicely. Pulled out a nice good 1.7 seconds. And Drake Cruz thinking about defending from Elman. That's a surprise.
Yeah, because I think he could feel threatened by the fact that the Alpha is actually going on the brake. So he knew full well after being hoodwinked by Seiko coming to turn 1, he wouldn't want to be fooled again here coming into the same corner, but a few laps later, and look at that, defending again. He just doesn't want the Alpha to get the advantage through the corners. He's trying to put any advantage that he can on the McGann, like the straights here, to fend off a really fast charging Volta Elman, but Elman so far hasn't been able to break the resilience of Drake Cruz. And for good measure, Nocom is right behind here, also just watching brief, just in case these two collide.
Have to say though, they're defending quite hard now, Cruz is, and that's just allowing Seiko to have a really easy run at the front. Ooh, look at that. Elman looks on the inside, a bit too late. They both run a little bit wide to the apex of that right-hander. And Cruz is defending too much, I think. I think he needs to focus on just getting good exits because he's costing himself too much time.
But he can't do that right now because he knows full well that there's two other cars right behind him, and one of them is his fellow teammate from the same team. So he's gonna have to inevitably look into the mirrors to defend anyway. He just can't focus on getting on the power cleanly enough out of the corners to actually get a gap. And look at that, he's defending again. Yeah. He knows full well his Volta element is right in his head right now.
Yeah. I mean, he has to defend for that corner because that's an overtaking opportunity, and he'll have to defend for this corner. But when he gets to the other sections of the tracks where he cannot be overtaken, he needs to focus more on getting clean exits because he's making mistake after mistake and he's ruining his exits at the moment, and that's preventing him from pulling out a gap. Okay, he's got a chance now. Elman's made a mistake mid-corner, so Cruz has a better exit at that last corner, and it will go on board with Axel Nocom because he'll have the grandstand view of the two cars in front of him.
Indeed, he's watching brief, as I said before, just in case that these two were to be in a collision. As Elman goes onto the outside, Drake defends on the inside. Again, he defends the inside line, but that could be a mistake because he ran a bit wide there, and now that could give Elman an opportunity to move around the outside, which will become the inside coming through turn 3. So this will be one opportunity here for Elman to make that move done. They still go side by side, but Cruz blocks it. And Nocom then, sensing an opportunity, he might just want to try as well. This is a good battle here. Let's not focus on P1 right now because Seiko is well and truly away from here as we come up to turn 4. Oh, this is going to get a bit hairy. just about. They kept it clean. But all the while, then when these three battling, they're gonna give Darren Ivan Rage an opportunity to close up. Oh, a bit of a touch there from Elman to Cruz, and that's a move there for second place.
That is, I think the stewards might have to have a look at that, because that was a little bit naughty, but that's allowed Knock-On there to come up through to P3 as well.
And Knock-On makes a clean move there coming into the chicane. So guess Cruz didn't want to defend anymore. He lets his teammate, who seems to be much faster than him, through this part of this phase of the race to actually attack Elman for second place. Now, they might be running in the same nationalities, but they're not in the same team. So as you can see there, Elma is racing for Sim Racing Filipinas alongside with Voltaire Seiko, while the two Black McGanns are running in the 7-star garage team. So this is actually an inter-team battle that is going on right now, albeit with all four of them being the same nationality.
Yeah, and this rivalry is quite good, huh? It's quite a big one as well. So, I mean, they're all from the Philippines. They all know each other very well, and they all drive well against each other. But the rivalry is there between the two garages. Oh, it's some back markers there as well.
That might be Sean O'Carroll or Takafumi Joystick, because, yeah, that is actually his in-game name. I'm trying to find what's his real name. I think I know the guy, but that's an Audi who's going to act as a bit of a stabilizer to these guys. He were to come between the battle of this battle. It is Sean O'Carroll, so it is the privateer from Australia, just a place outside of the point. So he will sensibly get out of the way. Yep, very nice driving from the back markers. So at least he's not going to disrupt this battle. But speaking of the battle, look at that. In 5th place, Darren Ivan Rajan, who's racing from a new house, by the way. He actually moved house in between the seasons to actually get the rig set up. And now he's actually going to try to steal a podium, a potential podium here from one of these three drivers in front of him.
There we are, watching from the dash cam. He's just watching this battle. It's quite tricky, isn't it, Ammo, when you get to this stage of the race? You know you got the speed, but you got to try and pick your way through the traffic without getting taken out at the same time.
Yeah, and absolutely, Alex. And also have to mind the fact that the tire wear at this point, even if you are able to push through it, you might actually just get a risk of a puncture, as the drivers in front are really cutting it. Look, Drake Cruz just has a slow penalty for track limits of use. Nazmi Aslan as well. Yeah. They're getting the desperate times here, because we're potentially coming through the next lap. As the final lap, oh, there's a touch there between Cruz and Darren Alvin Rajan. I think Darren might have actually gotten a bit too close to the back of the Renault there and just wiped the back of him. Luckily, both of them will just get away with just a few incident points.
Yeah. Drake Cruz still driving in his mirrors too much, and it's compromising his speed. Again, that middle sector with these sort of corners you don't have to defend for. He's looking to defend, looking in the mirrors. Shame. He'll learn from this. But he had the pace to be on pole. He had the pace to fight for the win. But maybe he's chewed through his tires too much as well, and he's just going backwards at the moment.
Indeed, and Darren Avirajan will probably try to sneak one opportunity here to get up further into the top 5, and looks as though he's got every opportunity to do so. We're on the final lap now. Seiko's just crossed the line, starting lap 8. This is the final lap of the race, and we're looking into... that's not no-com, that's actually Alan Drake Cruz. Cruz goes onto the inside. Oh, they've touched each other! They've actually touched, and I think Drake Cruz moved a bit under braking, and Darren Ivan Rajan manages to get it to 4th place for now, but it can still be a fight here between these two, as Drake Cruz goes to the outside, and look, using the power of them again to get back into 4th place. Darren, oh, look at that again! Drake Cruz moving under braking. That might be a bit of an inquiry from Darren on why he has to do that, Alex.
Yeah, I think you're right. Two cars getting very side to side. We've seen this for a few laps now. Drake Cruz looking a little bit ragged, and just squeezing Darren on the racing line, and that contact meant that Cruz almost went off. But yes, just a little bit ragged for the young Filipino, but he needs to settle down before race 2 starts.
Indeed, he might just have to put this one on the back burner, and what could have potentially been a podium is now just, well, it's still good positions in terms of the championship if he wants to chase for it in the top 5, but that's crucial points lost to the likes of Axel Nocom, who's leading the championship right now, and looks as though he might want to try and send one on the inside on the final lap here to Voltaire and Elman.
Yeah, Philippines 1, 2, 3 with Darren Ivan breaking up the monopoly there in P4, but we're looking at this battle for second position. Nocom down the inside, no, not close enough. Just trying to intimidate Elman, but Elman's not going to fall for that. He's an experienced driver as well. However, Nocom's really close right now. Look how close Nocom is. Can he make a move into the last corner? We can't stay with this battle. We have to go back to the lead as they cross the line, but Nocom's looking super close here, but no, not close enough. So, as it is, Ammo, Seiko takes the win. Congratulations for Voltaire Seiko. Fantastic job. Look how happy he is. He's super happy with that. Well done with him. Elman in second, Axel Nocom third, Darren Ivan in fourth, and Drake Cruz in fifth position. Francis Gonzalez, I think, comes home in fifth position. We'll see if we can try and talk to Seiko right now, and so he can tell us how his race went. So, Voltaire, you just need to unmute your mic if you can, mate. Oh, there he goes. Tears off the gloves. Gloves don't work very well with the touchscreen, but well done. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just managing my last lap because my fuel is less than 1 liter.
Oh no! So fuel at ×2 and tires at ×2. How much tires did you have left at the end?
I think it is 44.50.
Ah, plenty then.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just fuel is I'm managing the last lap. Sorry.
Okay. Well, congratulations, man. I'll leave you to focus on race 2, and good luck for race 2.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Makes up for the disappointment in the first round, though. He had every opportunity to be on the podium for both races, but unfortunately, it got away from him because of incidents and other miscellaneous factors that prevent him from a good point scoring position. We're going to run through the results as soon as we get them, but 8th place for Andre Jensen Villanueva, 9th for Sharik Zulkarnain, and Calvin Powell and Nazir Asman somehow ended up behind the both of them. So the random against, not in the hands of like the likes of Nocom and Cruz, just fell back even further. In fact, look at the state of that front hood for Nazir Asman. It's a lot of damage.
Oof, he's been in the wars, hasn't he? Yeah, that's a very concave front bumper.
Now let's run through the final results. So the top 2 we have Seiko, Elman, and Nocom. Darren Abrajan 4th, Drake Cruz 5th, Gonzalez, then Nazmir Aslan, Andre Jensen Villanueva, Zulkarnain, and Pau, your top 10 for the first race. We're going to reverse the grid for race 2.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ammo. And of course, fastest lap for Seiko. So that's an additional 2 points for the race winner from round 2 here today. But now it's all to do again. I'm trying to remember what the reverse grid is. I think it is 14. I can't remember what we set it to. Somewhere between 10 and 5 anyway. But Seiko will have to start in the middle of the pack towards the back. And again, I love these race 2s, Ammo, because the reverse grid means racecraft is very, very important.
Absolutely. It's absolutely paramount that they can get through. And we saw, I actually saw in the Copper race where Hayden Miller, he was on his way to actually winning that first race, ran out of the field at the very final corner, had to start from 17th or 18th. He managed to make his way through to the front and kept it there to the end. So the best drivers with the best racecraft can get through, Alex. As we now get to the start of the race, we're waiting for the gantry. Unfortunately, there's no lights here. But once the cars go out, the lights go out, we're going to get underway for the very final race for round 2 here at the Hungaroring. We're away, and it's Edward Wong who actually gets the good start off the line. Christian Duque actually bogged it a bit, and Calvin Powell punches his way through the midfield. It's going to be Malaysian 1-2 coming through turn 1. Powell on the inside, Edward Wong on the outside. Random McGann's 1-2-3 at the moment, and it looks as though it is the copper and bronze champion, Calvin Powell, who powers his way through turn 1 into the lead and gets the whole shot. Second is Edward Wong, and third is Christian Duque, Alex.
Wow, look at that action right now. So we watch them coming down then for turn 3. 3 black cars right at the front. They'll be very pleased with that. Not teammates, of course. They look like they're teammates, but they're not. And they're all racing for their own piece of tarmac. Who else has had a good start? Francis Gonzalez. He's had a great start there in P4. He's come from, I think, 9th to P4. So good start by him. Gonzalez, of course, has not won in silver class so far this season.
Yeah, he might be itching to get a race win on the board, and the fact that he's using this particular series and car to practice for another league that he's doing as he goes one on the inside. He's not mucking about. He wants to get on with it, and he gets his fellow countryman Christian Duque right at the chicane. We normally wouldn't see an overtaking maneuver right there, but they have done it, and he's up to 3rd place, albeit he cuts across a bit as more and more cars go wide there. This is kind of typical reverse grade stuff, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you have to remember that's Gonzalez's birthday yesterday. So we joked about it yesterday that we might give him a win for his birthday present, but let's see if that happens.
Yes, and he's also a fellow weep, so I might actually give him a bit of a Japanese-style birthday wish at the end. But we can't call it just yet because we're only still about 1.5 minutes through the race. We're not even 2 minutes in yet, as Darren Ivan Rajan moves one onto the inside of Sharik Zulkarnain to move on to the top 5. So he's also itching to get his first win of the season.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Darren Ivan in 5th position. He's got the pace to get to the front, so he's not out of it for the race win too.
And he's the first at the Alpha, so that's crucial because he can hold on to that lead of Alpha trains if he could actually just punch his way through to that top 5. And look at that. Gonzalez now attacking the back of Edward Wong. Wong is brave on the brakes. They go side by side here as Darren Average holds on to 5th place as well. But Gonzalez moves out to 2nd. That is crucial now. He actually has the pace advantage in this early part of the race to get up to the front. And once he takes the lead away from Calvin Powell, that will probably be him conserving his tires all the way to the end, Alex.
Yeah, there is this Lincoln Co car. I just have to pull back a bit. Voltes Seiko, race 1 winner, right at the back. So he's had a disastrous start to race 2. Let's see if he can recover from that. Back to the front though. Darren Ivan, whoa, he's going around the outside. Yes, just about makes it through past Christian Duque. And
well, that's very brave, and we already established that how good the Alpha is through corners and the braking zones, and it looks as though even in the high-speed corners, the drivers with the Alpha are not afraid to move around the outside. He's gonna have to defend though. He nearly got taken by Duque there. Pushes Edward Wong slightly wide. And is that gonna be 3rd place? Not yet. They're still going side by side around the outside. Goes Darren Ivan, and that is a brave move. He's up to 3rd now.
Wow.
And looks as though Francis Angelo Gonzalez might need to look over his shoulder a bit because that's a fast approaching Alpha.
Wow, so 2 wheels there, doing a great job. He wants that race win. Look how determined he is in the inset there, Ammo. He's really totally focused on trying to win this race.
Yep, and he's also wanting an aspiration to win the championship, because remember how close he came last time out to actually winning the championship, but he got bogged at the final round as Gonzalez around the outside coming through turn 12 has made the move on Calvin Powell. That's important because once Angelo Gonzalez takes the lead and he could get some clear air, that will be the curtains for any challenge for the drivers behind to take away the lead from Gonzalez. But we cannot rule out any other drivers who can get by Powell, for example, to actually challenge for that. Powell, unfortunately, in this particular round at least, seems to have not such a pace advantage compared to other seasons that he has competed in.
Yeah, I think Powell's been traveling as well, though, so it's a bit tough for him to get to his home rig. Oh, and almost takes out Gonzalez. Powell brakes way too late, and now that's allowed Darren Ivan through to P2 as well.
I think Gonzalez might have had the fright of his life there, seeing a black McGann coming through and nearly wiping out his rear end. But yeah, talking about Powell, he did travel from Johor to Kuala Lumpur just to do a couple of races here, and maybe a bit of fatigue setting in because it's been a long year and there's been quite a few races that he's done even in endurance edition, so probably he's really accustomed and a bit burned out, don't you think, Alex?
Yeah, definitely possible. And yeah, we're watching the Group 2 right now. Zukainen still trying to get past everyone, gets sideways through that turn 4, and now look at that, he's got Volta Elman all over the back of him, and Elman looks like he goes through.
And that's the same kind of move that he did on Alan Drake Cruz. I think he did bump Alan Drake out of the way as well. So 2 races in a row, we're seeing Voltaire Elman doing a bit of a nudging type touring car style move, but I think that might just be in the grey area, Alex.
Yeah, I think that's worth investigating for sure, see what the stewards say about it. But yeah, Zukainen now probably got on the dirty track, dirt on his tyres, and he's just going backwards right now. Soon going to come under pressure from Drake Cruz and Axel Rocco.
Yes, those two. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, those two are always tied but together by a piece of string, aren't they, Ammo? Drake Cruz and Nocom, they're always running together. Oh, and trying to get past Zukainen again. And, oh, Drake Cruz now going to lose the position to Nocom.
And Nocom stands on the inside. These two are like peas in a pod here. They're always together, and luckily they don't run the same number of cars, otherwise it would have been clones of both of them. But at this point in time, Zukainen is just holding on up, and Nocom actually moved on the inside and managed to make the move on his teammate Drake Cruz. And it's up at the front. It's Darren Ivan Rajan who has taken first position away from Francis Angel Gonzalez, so Gonzalez couldn't make enough hay while the sun shines, but he's trying to go back on the inside and takes back the lead away from Darren Ivan Rajan. This might be about to load all the way to the end, Alex.
That was a nice move there, and Rajan gave Gonzalez a lot of space. Willie gave him space to turn 2. Gonzalez down the inside. They're braking super late. Oh, he has to be careful. He's going to get run out here, and he does. Gonzalez almost makes the same mistake, though, and runs wide, super wide. And that's going to allow Darren through for sure.
Yeah, he cuts across the grass there. That is actually quite cheeky. He probably didn't know that he was on camera, but he cut the corner completely there. That was not even a piece of the road that he took in turn 3.
Whoa, that's too much, Gonzalez. I think you're going to end up with... That's too argy-bargy, I feel, and I think that's right on the limit. So if the stewards investigate that, I think Gonzalez will definitely get a penalty.
Yep, and the fact that he gained an advantage there because he cut the corner. Yes, he let Darren through, but he still had the pace advantage because he slingshot his way through turn 3 and still got ahead. So that might be just be investigated by the stewards, and Darren Ivan Rajan will probably be seething for that one because he knew full well that that was his corner. He could have actually gotten the advantage out of that, but Francis still ends up ahead.
Yeah, no, if I was Gonzalez, I'd let Ivan through because he's going to get a penalty for that for sure. You can't overtake off track. And that penalty might be 5 seconds, it might be 10 seconds. And it's going to drop him further back. Whereas if you just let Ivan through, then maybe he won't get a penalty.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the in-game penalty system probably might have exonerated him that quickly because the moment that you go off throttle, the timer just counts away, and he just rescinds the penalty.
I'm not talking about in-game penalty. I'm talking about the stewards giving a penalty later.
No, I mean, yeah, it's the same thing because I want to say that he cut the corner. He would have gotten a warning for that one. So unfortunately, he managed to actually get the penalty away so quickly that he can still resume battling with Darren Ivan Rajan. So it's not strict enough, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So the stewards are going to have to take some action on that, I feel. But Darren's going to be... Oh, he'll be... Because, you know, this is not over yet. Because you've seen this happen before. Darren, he's got to find a clean way through, and he's got him now. He's in front just... But he's giving Gonzalez too much space for me. I think he needs to be more aggressive. That's better.
Well, he did cut across, but... because
No, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine still, but it's just that Darren just wasn't enough ahead of Gonzalez to cut across, so he just had to do it hell for leather through turn 2 just to cut across there, and luckily for him, he manages to get ahead of Angelo Gonzalez, but Gonzalez, he's got that fired up spirit right now. He just wants to get ahead no matter what, and luckily for them, they got a buffer because Calvin Powers actually held up Voltaire Elman, but Elman's through now. They're gonna have to get on with it, otherwise Elman will make it a 3-way battle for the lead of the race.
Yeah, and that incident will still get investigated, but for Darren Ivan's sake, he needs to pull out the gap because both these two cars are at instant points inching up to about to the limit, and don't forget, if you go over that limit, you will get disqualified.
And again, look at that, continuous abusing of the track limits. So Angelo Gonzalez driving out of his skin here to stay onto the back of that Alpha, but all the while then that's actually costing him a lot more time than he gained because he still gets more of those warnings as we look back at Calvin Powell, who is the best of the McGanns right now, holding back Sharik Zulkarnain. Zulkarnain dives on the inside and couldn't get through there. He had to get alongside, and unfortunately he is nowhere close. And all the while then he manages to hold off both the 7-star garage drivers and then some. In fact, Drake Cruz still hasn't gotten by Sharik Zulkarnain.
Yeah, so I'm quite surprised Drake Cruz hasn't gone by because he's definitely quite a bit quicker. Let's see if he can get the exit he needs out of the last corner. But of course, got Knockom all around behind him as well. If you watch from Knockom's point of view, whoa, Knockom's so close to Drake Cruz. But they both got the slipstream now of Zulkarnain. Let's see. I think Cruz is going to go for it.
He's going for it, and Zulkarnain also defends, but he's gonna leave the door open coming to turn 1. And I think Zulkarnain knows full well that he just had to let that go because the moment they collide each other, they're gonna get 4 incident points easily. And Zulkarnain just wants points at this point in time. He just doesn't want to lose a race because of a very, very small collision.
Okay, but Cruz goes back past his teammate. But finally, both of them get past Zulkarnain now.
Yep, and now they got yet another driver ahead of them who will probably be a bit of a tough fish to boil down because it's Calvin Powell, and he actually has a lot of racecraft in his locker. That might be potentially a cork in the bottle for them. They can't probably get by now. The best they can finish right now is the top 5.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to the front, and there's the man at the moment. Darren Two Wheels Ivan. Definitely pulling out a nice gap down to Gonzalez. You've got to feel that it's his race to lose at this point.
Indeed, and Gonzalez has no answer to him. In fact, he's lost over a second. And look at that, going wide again. He's going to get, yep, there you go. Just as I called it, Stewart's decision, the in-game stewards to give a slowdown penalty for track limits abuse. So, I don't know how many his points he has racked up from track limits because you do get 1 point for going off track. So, he's going to have to really conserve his race right now because he doesn't want to get disqualified at a really promising position as we look at Calvin Powell, but behind him, Knockom and Drake Cruz going at it side by side between the two 7-star garage teammates, and looks as though Knockom has gotten ahead again of Drake Cruz. These two are battling here, while all the while then they're trying to battle for 4th position. Wow.
That's right on board with Cruz. This is our pole sitter for today in silver class, so he's not going to be happy with it. He's not had a good 2 races. I feel he should have been on the podium in both races really. But look, is he going to look down the inside again? Yeah, I bet he is, you know.
And all the while then Calvin Powell equally aware to that and takes a good line coming into turn 1, advanced 4th position. But behind him, look at that, Nazmir Aslan and Sharik Zulkarnain. Zulkarnain trying to get up one more position after losing quite a few to the guys right in front of him. He's battling against another one of the Faz Aslan brothers, and can't call this right now, Alex, between these two because these are equal cars.
Yeah, it's so close indeed. We'll go a bit further forward though. Axel Knockham there. He's just behind Kelvin Powell. He's got to try and find a way by. But also, he's leading the championship, so he has to be careful. He doesn't want to do something silly and then end up getting knocked out of the top 10 or something, because he doesn't need to take the big risk, does he?
No, he doesn't, and he had a 20-point gap to a couple of the drivers that we can consider championship rivals anyway, so he probably is thinking about the championship right now, not to get any collisions. Ooh, as I said it. Oh, what happened to Gonzalez has been disqualified. So that's one corner cut too many, and he is out of it.
Yeah, he was fighting with Elman right now for 2nd position. We talked about it, right? The incident points are obviously racked up too much. So Elman now up to P2, Kelvin Powell up to 3. But for how long? Look at the pressure he's having to absorb from Axel Knockham.
Indeed, he's only got 2 minutes or one more lap to go as Nocom goes around the outside. Power's equal to it. These are 2 champions, by the way. Well, Nocom, I think, has won the Copper class before. He gets up to 3rd, and Powell loses 3rd position away from him, touching between the 2 Renaults, and sideways goes Nocom. Luckily, though, he manages to hold on to it, because front-wheel drive cars, you just need to power wall the throttle to save it. And Nocom then up to 3rd place.
Wow, great move by Knockham. And now, look at that. He's got Kelvin Powell running rear gunner for him. So, what's this? One more lap to go. He should be able to hold on to that.
Indeed, all the while then, look at further behind Drake Cruz. He's got 2 Alphas attacking as well, as we're on board with one of them. Nazmir Asman goes onto the inside and takes 5th place away. So, a very, very disappointing weekend for Drake Cruz. Might end up going worse here. He is now out of the top 5. What a disappointing end to the weekend, Alex.
Wow, yeah. But, you know, he's so young. Cruz just needs to work on his racecraft a bit. He makes some bad decisions, I would say, at some key moments of the race. If he just chilled out a bit in some of those race moments, because you can see him looking in the rear mirror all the time, you can see him using up his tires too much, and that's why it's costing him just inexperience, really. But he's definitely got the speed, would you say? I mean, pole position earlier on was fantastic.
He's got that 1 lap pit, but unfortunately, race pace-wise, it hasn't been kind to him. And speaking of this hasn't been kind to a certain driver, Zulkarnain's actually gotten a drive-through penalty for ignoring slowdown warnings. So that's at least 1 free position for Drake Cruz to gain at the end of the race. But it could have been more for him had it been for better mid-race pace. And, well, this battle's now over. It's the Alpha and the McGann show. It's the Giulietta and the McGann show here today, Alex. It has been these 2 car manufacturers leading the way for this round.
Yeah, that's so interesting, the silver class. It'll be interesting to see if that's going to be the same case for gold later on, whether the McGann and the Alpha will be the cars to have. I got a feeling that's not going to be the case. Oh, Zukainen looks down the inside of Powell. Doesn't quite make it through. And look at that. Seiko, is that Seiko going all the way around the outside? Volta Seiko, who was last after the first lap, has done a great job to recover up to P7. Wow. But we have to go back to the leader. Darren Ivan, 2 Wheels Ivan, there he is, fist bumping his way to the first win in silver for him for the season. Great job there.
Indeed, and we can run through the order. I'm really happy for Darren. He's actually gotten through a lot of shtick for the past in terms of how he rules his luck. But today, Lady Luck smiling on him. Volta Amman crosses a brilliant 2nd. Nocom 3rd. Nazmir Aslan 4th. And Kevin Powell in 5th. So that's your top 5. And Nazmir Aslan, I think it is his very first race, isn't it? Because I remember seeing Nazri Aslan, but not Nazmir.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, let's talk with Darren Ivan right now. He's on with us on Discord. Zoom. Darren, great job there to win your first race of the season. You want to talk us through it?
It was quite. I just kept my cool throughout the race, to be honest. I just follow people, let them make mistakes, and get the win for the 2nd race.
Congratulations, that seemed to be the right strategy, because Gonzalez was racing very hard. You can see arguably too hard. Well, congratulations on your win. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Alright, bye-bye.
Thank you. Ammo, you want to take us through?
Yep, and he's quite relieved with his results, and that's pretty good driving from Darren to get the better of Gonzalez. He finishes first in front of Voltaire Herman, Nocom third, Nazmir Azlan fourth, Powell fifth. Then the rest of the top 10, Seiko, Drake Cruz, Edward Wong, Christian Duque, and Takafumi Joystick, 1 point. So first ever driver, and I think he's using an actual controller because that's his team name, in 10th. What a way to finish the weekend for that guy.
Okay, thank you very much, Amo. We'll be right back to you for gold in a little while.
So that was pretty good. Darren Ivan, I'm assuming that's Darren Ivan Rajan with a nickname in there. Very good performance from him. And I tell you what, the kids don't have it all their own way these days, which is rather good. We don't want the 9 and 10-year-olds dominating this sport. Not yet, anyway.
No, we want whoever puts in the work to do well. And it's nice to see the old guys still doing it really well. And old guys, they're still young, okay? Just compared to the infants who are also racing this championship. But some great racing there, like bronze class. So super happy. We've had copper, we've had bronze, we just had silver. We got gold coming up after this.
And an international all-star cast as well. We'll be back with you, around about 10 to the hour, maybe 5 to the hour, for the gold edition of the second round of the eRGP Global. This is eRGP.